When you look at the building stock in the UK, there's still a lot of potential for better insulation. And some of that is quite cheap. There's still buildings with no loft insulation or very poor loft insulation. That's not an expensive measure. Draft proofing, even underfloor insulation. We've done that in our own house, £2,000, and over 20 years or so, you can see your costs being paid back for the savings. So there's definitely still opportunities for that. And I would advise always, regardless of whether you have a heat pump or whether you have a gas boiler or an oil boiler, it just makes sense, right? You should do it. Should you do solid wall insulation? That's the big question always. For comfort reasons, maybe you should, right? Because if you have a really drafty building with moldy walls, damp, having solid wall insulation could just make it so much more comfortable. But you wouldn't do it for economic reasons. You're not going to get your money back, most likely, unless you have very, very high heating bills. And then I think the other important piece is the heating system itself, right? If you live in a city that has a district heating network planned, great. Somebody else will deal with that problem for you. But if you're not, then I think heat pump is the most likely scenario for most people. Not for everybody. There will be exceptions. There might be people who just don't have the space to put the unit somewhere. Although there's new solutions coming to market that deal with that. But there could also be electric boilers with batteries that allow to use cheap electricity and then run the electric boiler when costs are higher. So there are different options available. I think making sure that the building is well insulated within reason, of course, what makes financially sense, and then really thinking about the heating system. I would not advise anyone to install another gas boiler today. There are alternatives out there. You can get the economics to work if you find a good installer, and there's really no good reason not to go for a low carbon option.